Well, here we are at the famous elevator pitch competition, finally. The competition is presented by both the Israel Trade Commission, but in partnership with Business Events Sydney. So you're now going to see 12 elevator pitches, one after the other, 6 from Israel and 6 from Australia, and then you'll have a chance to vote for your favourite 2, one Israeli and one Australian. And the voting will be at the end. So get your phones ready and enjoy the video.
Hello and welcome to the second Real Elevator Pitch competition, brought to you by the Israel Trade Commission and Business Events Sydney. As part of the Bridge Investment Summit in Sydney, this year's competition takes place in an elevator in one of Sydney's new Barangaroo Towers, overlooking the beautiful Sydney Harbour. 6 Israeli and 6 Australian startups will be put to the ultimate test, stepping into an elevator where they will meet a well-known investor and have one shot to impress with their pitch. The premise is simple. These startups have 90 seconds to make an impression and spark a connection with an influential venture capitalist. At Business Events Sydney, we are focused on drawing the world's brightest minds to Australia to meet and do business. So we're excited to be collaborating on this initiative, and I can't wait to watch the action and see who wins this year's competition. I wish all involved good luck, literally on the way to the top.
Hi Adam, I'm Darius from Nexergy.
Hey, I'm Adam from 500 Startups.
I'd like to tell you about my startup.
Sure. Right.
So conventionally energy flows in one direction, from a centralised power station to energy users. But now we have a situation where energy is flowing in 2 directions, because some people have invested in solar, and batteries are coming too. Indeed, by 2040 it's forecast that 50% of Australia's capacity is going to be in the form of solar and batteries in people's homes or behind the meter. And this is causing grid management issues, which is driving up the cost of energy for everyone. So we need a customer-friendly way of accessing these behind-the-meter resources. Nexergy provides a local energy marketplace where those who've invested in solar and batteries can sell their energy to others in their community. So we're bringing energy to the sharing economy. And the modelling in this space shows that this reduces the energy cost for everyone and provides fairer returns to those who've made the investment, to the tune of 20% or more. Indeed, the utilities can also participate in the market by providing incentives for people to take actions which optimises the network and reduces those grid management issues. So how does Nexergy generate revenue? We share in where the savings are generated. So we take a small clip of the trade as energy is sold into the market, and we charge a platform access fee from utilities. And these are going to be significant revenue streams in a market that's forecast to grow to between $200 and $400 billion by 2020.
Interesting. So it's a 3-sided marketplace. I'm very interested to hear how you drive distribution. How do you get more people to your marketplace?
Sure. So we're a B2B2C company. So our utilities and our energy retailers are our way to access their customers. They have big customer bases that will be able to just sign up to the Nexergy platform.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's Jenny O'Neill. I'm CEO of Episoft.
I'm Adam from 500 Startups.
Hi Adam. Our software company is an e-health cloud-based software that supports hospitals and medical clinics treating patients with cancer. It automates the whole process and improves the efficiency and safety. We made $1 million last year after starting our cancer development in 2014, and we've got 6 sites on board for chemo centres as well as cancer surveillance programs running in 6 countries overseas. So the most exciting part about the company is that we have now a sales and marketing activity going on for the last 3 months, and we've grown our sales pipeline from just over $1 million to now $90 million in sales.
Impressive.
Thank you.
So you're dealing with a lot of sensitive information, right? So how do you get around it in the US and Australia?
So we look at the regulatory requirements for each of the markets that we're operating under, and we make sure that we meet those regulatory requirements. We've just achieved HIPAA compliance for our first US customer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi Tony, I'm Carlos. I'm CEO of Deep Learning Robotics, a company that developed a controller for robots that once connected to robotic arms, it allows it to learn visually by observing workers performing the task. No programming needed, no special setups. This is opening the path to automating tasks that require a lot of changes, both in products and in tasks themselves. We have on board Strauss Group, which is the major manufacturer in Israel, which is an investor, and it's also a pilot site for us. We have patents ongoing, we have agreements with universities, and we are exactly in the position we wanted to be now in order to scale up our operations.
Carlos, amazing. You're at the intersection of some amazing themes: robotics, artificial intelligence, well-capitalised players. How do you compete or cooperate or work together with those large players?
So robotic arms are becoming commodities, and the robotics manufacturers are very interested in our technology. I'm traveling from Australia to visit one of them, the CEO of one of these big companies, and we're going to have not an elevator speech, we're going to have a whole day of a meeting to discuss these possibilities.
Great. Carlos, thank you very much. Great to meet you.
It was nice meeting you.
Okay.
So my name is Avi and I'm from Equinome in Israel. Mommy tomato meets daddy tomato. They have a child. This child tomato can have many different traits. What we do, we control the traits. And by applying genomic sequencing and classical breeding all together, we can control the way this tomato will look like. But we are not in tomatoes business. We apply the idea of very sophisticated breeding into other crops that we call them orphan crops that were untouched until now. So take sesame, for example. Sesame is a $10 billion market, but $10 billion market that actually grows only in the undeveloped countries. We are going to change that paradigm and bring sesame to Australia. So in a few years from now, you will see thousands of hectares growing sesame in Australia, bringing much more sesame oil to the world. The same applies to legumes. We know how to increase the level of protein at the legumes by breeding the seed according to the customer specification.
Okay, and why sesame? Is it genetically modified, or why the solution?
Oh, thank you for asking, because we are non-GMO company. So what we are looking at is where the money is. There is a lot of royalties in sesame, and that's where we want to be.
Avi, thanks. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you. Lovely to meet you.
Hi Michael, I'm Andrew Hamilton.
Hi Andrew, I'm Michael.
You're probably wondering what this strange piece of plastic is that I'm holding. It's the solution to the world's water problems. Evaporation takes more than 85% of the world's water, and this product stops evaporation on reservoirs and dams. It's a patented Innovation Award-winning product from Israel that I brought to Australia. We've got paid pilots in Australia. We're manufacturing next week out at Narrabri in India, Chile, Israel and the United States. And we've got Australian investors to this patented product. The market of this is really very much in the billions. In agriculture in Australia alone, billions of dollars are lost from water. Farmers see their reservoirs evaporate, their money's evaporating. You put this on, stops evaporation, it improves the health of the water, stops birds. Its unique quality is that it preserves the health of the water and does so in a cost-effective way and stops evaporation. We're looking for investment. If you want to join on this wonderful impact investment journey, you're most welcome.
So I've got a question. If I ran a commercial waterway, like in Sydney, Warragamba Dam, it's massive, how many of these would I need for it to be effective, and how much would that cost?
So there are 100,000 of these top-up balls per hectare. It depends on the size of your dam. It can be installed progressively, but on a big dam you'd install it. I don't know about Warragamba, but say in Perth, in Western Australia, it's more cost effective than desalination by a significant amount.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ori from Simagen.
I'm Michael Weeding.
Hi, nice to meet you. So Tim Cook was recently quoted that augmented reality is one of the fastest growing and most exciting technologies out there. In fact, he mentioned that it's in terms of its commercial benefit, it's even more powerful than virtual reality. What Simagen does is enables retailers and brands to sell more and at a much faster pace. The way we do it is we offer the clients of the retailers the opportunity to visualize their product at the like-life experience, 3-dimension, at their own space, at their own time, and at a simple click of a button. What we're actually doing here is solving one of retailers' biggest sticky points, which is when people see their product and go, yeah, it is a nice product, I think I'm kind of connecting to it, but how is it going to actually look in my environment, in my space? How is it going to appear in my kitchen, my bedroom, etc.? Similarly, for e-commerce, one of their biggest challenges is conversion rates. So we're helping them increase their conversion rates by the fact that when customers are looking at the products, they can actually, the chances of them continuing on and buying is much greater.
So, well, with a growing demand for all retailers,
Yeah.
What's going to differentiate your product to me building my own or using a local agency?
Well, I think there is a level of expertise here. We've got the best minds that are working with it, and we can complement existing platforms to work together with them to make the product much better and stronger.
That sounds great. Well, thank you for your time. That was
Thank you
great.
very much.
Hi, Kevin Baum with Agro.
Hi,
How are you?
Sigalit Roventus.
So 90% of Australian livestock producers use this, pen and paper, as their primary record keeping and management tool. So in Australia, that means it's a $15 billion industry where decisions are being made, huge farm decisions are being made because, well, that's how we've always done it. So at AgriWeb, our goal is to disrupt that using smart technologies. So we have a record keeping app and an analytics portal that enables better decision making, but also links across the supply chain to enable better transparency. To make something work with farmers, it has to be really simple to use. So we put together the best tech team in the ag tech space. We've raised $4.3 million in a $600,000 government grant, and we signed a strategic partnership with Bayer, who's actually selling on our behalf. We had $130,000 in revenue last month. We're growing steadily with over 750 farms on the platform. But more importantly than that, 92% of our customers have booked subscriptions a year in advance, and 96% have booked our premium package, showing that they really love it. So after establishing ourselves here and scaling here, we really hope to go global and disrupt the livestock industry across the world.
Wow, that sounds exciting. Tell me, what is the cost of acquisition?
The cost of acquisition has been going down pretty steadily. So right now our cost of acquisition is about $400, but our customer lifetime value is about $4,500.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
I'm Alex. Good
Hi,
to meet you.
Sigalit. Nice meeting you.
Peepable allows users to search videos for a phrase and jump straight to the point where the words are spoken, then instantly create a peep, which is a link to a clip from within a video. If you have videos, then Peepable can be deployed to your site so users can search your collection of videos. And we can drive leads to your website and also allow subscribers to do value-based search. Our technology is now ready and we're raising capital to help accelerate deployment to commercial clients, to grow our team and to engage sales and marketing resource.
Excellent. And who are your competitors today?
I think what we're doing is fairly unique. There's a company called Comey who do something that to some extent can be similar. But it isn't as easy to deploy. It's aimed at larger companies.
Excellent. Good luck.
Thank you.
My name's Brent Pearson and I'm the founder of Enborder, and I'm a passionate advocate for the employee experience. It always amazes me when companies spend so much time attracting and hiring the very best talent, and yet the moment that talent signs their offer letter, they now become your employee, and that's when their employee experience starts. And unfortunately, in most companies, there's no one responsible for that first experience, and it can range from being variable to outright terrible. So Enborder is a workflow platform, and we've designed it to help employers just create amazing employee experiences for all their staff. And we do that by delivering really engaging content directly onto the mobile phones of the new employee. And we also coach the managers so that managers never forget when they've got something they need to do just to wow their new hire. The nice thing about our platform is that there's no applications that need to be installed, there's no usernames, there's no login, there's no training, it just works for anyone. And for HR, we're giving HR the tools so that HR can actually design, build and administer all these workflows themselves. We're a young company, but we've already started working with some amazing brands like Coca-Cola and Electronic Arts, and I'd love to give you a demonstration.
Fantastic. Tell me, what is your go-to-market strategy?
Go-to-market strategy, we have two major channels. We're using channel partners that already have established relationships with customers, and we also have a direct sales force right now, so we're reaching out directly to companies.
Sounds interesting.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Hi. Nice to meet you, right?
Let's say that on the way here you got hit by a car and you're probably suffering from a whiplash injury. Like 250,000 people that's suffering from whiplash injury every day. You probably need to go your physical therapy exercises. But physical therapy exercises haven't changed since the 1900s. But virtual reality is the future, and it's already here. This is the first ever medical device, virtual reality headset for rehabilitation, especially for people that experience whiplash injury. The patient is just playing a virtual reality game, and by playing the virtual reality game is actually doing his physical therapy exercises. His healthcare professional can monitor and guide him online and actually change the physical therapy according to the specific needs and process of the specific patient. This will improve millions of people around the world life and the rehabilitation process for every people that ever experience whiplash injuries.
Thanks, Iran. Iran, do you use your own proprietary hardware or do you use industry standard?
Excellent question. Because we wanted this device to be affordable and that any person could actually use it, all you need to do is to use your own smartphone, connect it via Bluetooth to our device, and you are turning your mobile phone to a medical rehabilitation device.
Thank you.
Drive Yellow helps businesses build great relationships with their customers by providing them a premium delivery service. And we do that because we give them access to our technology, which is a logistics and delivery management platform that's supported by qualified and vetted and rated drivers. We've been in the market for 12 months. We've delivered more than 60,000 deliveries. We have recruited more than 3,500 drivers. We've generated more than $500,000 worth of revenue for them, and we're currently doing $40K a month for us at a 15% month-on-month increase. We just closed a round for $1.9 million, going into a Series A to raise 5 to support our growth, and our growth on the back of some of the biggest brands in the industry: McDonald's, La Poqueta, Miss Chew, Woolworths, and of course we just partnered with Menulog last month, which means that we now have access to 8,000 restaurants and 1 million deliveries a month. We have a great team behind Yellow. It's headed up by Johnny and myself. Johnny's had almost a decade experience in as a Crust franchisee, and I've had almost 2 decades experience building businesses and technology, taking them global with a couple of successful exits. We have impressive traction, we have an innovative product, we've got a great future, and we hope to find some people who'd be part of that.
Thanks, Steve. Steve, I think the market's getting pretty crowded with Uber Eats, Foodora and Deliveroo. How do you propose to compete with those organisations?
Yeah, well, our business is very different in the sense that we offer a B2B solution. They can use our software as a SaaS platform. They can book drivers for shifts, which none of those other competitors actually provide. And of course, we then just enable us to operate as a B2B product.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, thanks very much.
is a new kind of app for walking in cities. You know, the world's population is moving to live in cities, and car ownership is going down drastically in the last few years. So people are driving less and walking more. But navigation apps today are really focused on things from the perspective of a driver. So they'll get you from point A to point B in the shortest time. Okay, but walking is so much more than that. It's a whole experience. Okay, so in a city, if you take a slightly different route, you can have a whole different kind of experience. And that's what we do with Sidekicks. We're a navigation app that offers you a walking path that is based on your interest and your mood. So if you're going out at night, we might offer you a path that has more new businesses or trending places. And if you're if you are in the mood for art, you might get a route that has more, more culture or more museums in it. And if you are walking out at night, you might get a route that is better lit. Okay, so we are already live in over 100 cities worldwide. We have a great, very active user community, and we're here in Sydney right now.
Welcome to Sydney. Are you in Sydney?
We are in Sydney, yes, absolutely. Sydney and Melbourne as well.
Awesome. 2 quick questions.
Yes.
How do you compete with Google Maps and Apple Maps? And second of all, are you generating any revenue from the 100 cities that you're in?
Right, so we went live in April. We are not yet generating revenue. Now we're focusing, so far we were focusing on improving our product and bringing it up to the right level. We're definitely seeing that we're getting our user communities continuously using the app. And we're going to start to monetize later this year. And I forgot the other question.
How you'll compete with the big guys?
How we compete with the big guys? Look, it's a different angle on things. They're very focused again on the utility, and we are focused on the experience. And today we are the only ones that are doing that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Big round of applause for all the pitchers and the judges. Quick question. What level did they get out of the lift? 14. And since the recording of that yesterday, 10 renters on level 14 have left the building, citing creepy people stalking them in the elevators to sell stuff. And Kelsey tells me it's almost impossible to control the smart lifts in Barangaroo when you're trying to film sessions there. Now, let me introduce 2 people. The first is Kelsey Nabman of the Israel Trade Commission, who's going to explain to us how the voting works. And the second is Jonathan Altman, chairman of APM from Israel, who represents the law firm representing incubators, startups and investors with a huge number of clients. Thanks. Thanks, Jonathan. Thank you.
All right, is everyone awake? We didn't fall asleep throughout the video. All okay? All right, can we give one more big round of applause to everyone that took part? It was so hard for the companies. There's a wall of cameras and we told them, just pretend we're not here. So they got really one take unless there was technical difficulties. So they did really, really well. So now the power's over to you guys. I think the point of the real elevator pitch competition for the Israel Trade Commission is to really make these entrepreneurs into rock stars, and we want to highlight their amazing efforts both on the Israeli and Australian side. So we need you guys to vote. So what we're going to do is get out our Bizzabo app. If you haven't downloaded it, you can download it now. Is everyone with me? Have you got data? If we all jump on the Wi-Fi, this isn't going to happen. So we need to go to More, Polls, the real elevator pitch competition, and take the poll. As it closes, I see take poll. We're okay? We can take poll, yes? People are telling me yes. I'm hearing good things. All right. So there's one Israeli and one Australian winner. When we announce them, we'll let you know what the prizes are. So have a think about it. I hope you can remember them all. We want the most impressive companies and the most impressive pitches. So while you guys are voting, what I'm going to do is invite the investor judges up for a few questions about their experience. So judges, I'm going to invite Adam Benayoun from 500 Startups. Come on up, grab a seat. Thank you. Tony Holt from Square Peg Capital. Good old Sig from Grove Ventures. Come on up. Michael Weeding from AMP. And David Shane, our Innovation Fund. Beautiful. So Jonathan, I'm going to hand over to you to ask a few questions while the audience finishes their voting. You've got a mic, so should.
All right.
There we go. We're good.
I want to just start, as I have the pleasure of being pitched 5 to 10 times a week, receiving startups to our firm. And in a way, we are acting as an investors because, as you may imagine, whoever of you who have some experience with Israelis, you know that we're not getting paid. So we are kind of investing in these companies, so we have to relatively very fast decide whether we want to work with a startup or we pass. So how do we do that? So we don't have the time like the investors to do due diligence 3 to 6 to a year, and then we have to decide relatively fast. Maybe not 90 seconds, but a little more. But still, you need to know what are you looking for, and this is something that we would want to share also with the judges. After having some experience doing that, we believe that you need to see purity of the idea, meaning know exactly what you're talking about. You saw some good examples here, very pure, very clear as what the idea is. At the same time, even though you are very technological and very experienced, still be very simple, simplicity, not only purity, but also simplicity. And last but not least, your value proposition. What is exactly your value proposition? Having these three in a very simple way, and as I said, you saw some good examples here, giving you a good idea whether you want to continue exploring the opportunity or just pass and move to the next one. Just a short experience of myself. A couple of years ago, I was approached by two entrepreneurs, and they came to me and said, you know, we are going to deal with the web building, automatic web building. I have to admit that, you know, web building is not, you know, lots of people were building websites at that time, and it seems to me too unique. Obviously, I did my mistake on that one. Wix is now being traded for $1.6 billion. One thing I have to thank myself is because of the fact that I know very little about technology. Even though I'm dealing with technology company for 20 years, I stick to the people. So I didn't like the idea. The idea seemed to me very unclear, but I like the people, so I stayed with them, and thank God I didn't miss the opportunity. I just want to, I don't know if we are done with the...
Still voting, guys, so make sure you're all putting in your polls. Everyone in? Has any of our investor judges, has anyone ever pitched to you in an elevator if they've just recognised you? Or was that your first elevator pitch experience? First one?
That was the first, yeah.
I heard somewhere, someone mentioned yesterday that they met an entrepreneur in an elevator who really actually recognised the investor and had a good crack at it. So, Mazal Tov.
If you look at the pitch, what exactly, without referring to these particular, because we're still voting, so just looking at the pitch at the very few minutes that you listen, what are you looking at?
So I think one thing that I like to, a tip that I give entrepreneurs is try to be memorable, because we get pitched hundreds of times every month, and you get only 60 seconds, sometimes 90 seconds. And one way to get that across and be very memorable is lead with traction. So if you have traction, get to it as fast as possible. That usually catch my attention. That's probably one of the things that I try to look at, and also a good story, entertain me.
Thanks. For me, it was my first opportunity to see Australian entrepreneurs pitching, which is a little bit different. And you had the opportunity to see Israeli entrepreneurs pitching. You see any differences, generally speaking?
I mean, in our business, we see a lot of Israeli pitches, a lot of Australian pitches, a lot of pitches from other parts of the world. I guess the distinguishing features amongst the Israelis, without wanting to generalise too much, is there's a level of forthrightness, there's a level of directness, and a level of aggression, which is, you know, in a good way, a common theme of the pitch. I guess boiling it past that, what we really look for as a common important theme, regardless of some of those specific characteristics, is the passion and a degree of authenticity in the solution and a problem that's come from personal experience. So style's one thing. I guess getting to the root of the problem is much more important.
Sigalit?
I don't believe in pitches. I believe that when you meet someone for a small period of time, you need to connect with him. Investor is a person. You need to get his attraction, get his curiosity, and that's it. Get him into a meeting, send your presentation, make it really slick, very focused type of presentation, and after that is much more leading to the meeting. This is the most important.
Thank you. What is the most important thing for you when you're meeting entrepreneur? What would be the characteristics that you want to see when you're meeting one and really looking whether you want to invest or not?
Well, I suppose with my role, I'm influencing the investment team to make a decision. And I like to see that they actually understand the problem that I need to be solved. Everyone's got a great idea and they're very passionate about their idea that's, you know, in a holistic manner. But actually, if they understood what problem I need solved and how this would solve that problem, that would connect with me straight away, I think, as a differentiator.
All right. Michael, we're all very optimistic, as Dov said early in the morning. So we're all very optimistic. Everything works, but as we know, the numbers, most cases are not successful, and it's part of the game. What would be regarding an entrepreneur, would you good advice of how and when to stop the venture and go elsewhere?
So, my father told me from a very young age, rather earn 50 cents for yourself than $1 from somebody else. And I have 3 boys, and that's the exact opposite advice that I'd give them. So if any of them came and said, Dad, I've got this great idea, I would absolutely back them to the hilt. But I would say, if after a reasonable period of time, you're not earning at least as much as you would be on a job, and you're not building an asset that you can sell one day, don't waste your time, because running a business has lots and lots of challenges, and there's always, even in good, even when business is going well, there's still challenges, and if you're going to have all that heartache and aggravation, you might as well be building a business that you can sell. And there are lots of great companies. I think in my dad's age, there weren't things called executive share option schemes. I'm sure there are lots of guys at Seek and in my own company, Comtech, Google, Cisco, guys who worked on jobs and made lots and lots of money without all the aggravation of having their own company. So I think, just as I say, just be realistic and reasonable, and if it's not working, don't be in love with what you are doing, and just be big enough to say enough's enough.
Thank you, David. Okay, how are we doing out here? Has everyone voted? Phones up if we've voted. Yes? Look at that, full room. Okay, because it matters. Every single vote matters. All right, so what we're going to do now is officially close the polling. So we'll close that off in Visibo. It'll tally up the winners, and that means that we can now go maybe back this way along the line and hear who your individual favourite was and why, just briefly, guys.
Well, I'm probably a bit biased, and I like the VR physio, because I think it really solves a real-world application, and it was developed by an F-16 pilot who actually suffered from whiplash, and actually it's a real-world problem, lots and lots of applications. I like that it is using industry-standard market-leading products. On the Australian side, I really like the Agritech product. I think that's awesome solution.
Well, I mean, having a technology background, I love the your pitch. We got to see it a little bit before the elevator. I just have to admit that. I thought that was fantastic. But my family has a background, obviously, in agriculture, and I always remember the biggest concern my dad probably raised through his whole life was water conservation. I grew up in a time where even though the dams might be full, you were still limited. Your shower still had an alarm on it. You couldn't have more than a minute shower. And even I tell my kids today, you can't run the water when you're brushing your teeth because they just don't get it. So Andrew and the little pods, I thought was a fantastic idea, and I think something that Australia could really benefit from.
I like also the agri-web. I think that it's a real problem. It's really bringing innovation to an untapped type of a market vertical. And it was very sharp, very direct. And I think that everything was covered in a very short time. On the Israeli part, I like the same. The VR solution for physio, bringing a real value let's say, an innovative type of solution, but very specific to a specific market that has this need, reduces a lot of cost of rehabilitation.
So focusing on the pitches as opposed to necessarily the substance of the business, which is pretty hard in 90 seconds, I thought this Imagine pitch was really well constructed in terms of explaining the opportunity and the solution. So I enjoyed and learned quickly from that what the objective was and what they were trying to solve. I thought the agri-web pitch, I think the two things that came out of that to me were the scale was well enunciated, and the progress were both set out really quickly in a short amount of time. So again, from purely a pitching perspective, those two stood out to me.
So I don't remember the name of the software, the medical software. I do remember the name
Episoft?
of the... Yeah, so Jenny. I was very impressed by the traction. Actually, she didn't say that, I think, on camera. She did say that on the first pitch, and then we had to retake it. But she bootstrapped the company, so she didn't raise any money. Got $2 million in sales last year, and she has a great pipeline. So I think that's very impressive. I mean, I love the fact that I've bootstrapped a few companies in the past, so I know how hard it is. And the second company, the Israeli company, I actually like Imagine, because that's a personal pain that I have. I've many times in the past bought something, came back home, put it in the apartment, and then my wife tell me, "No, you have to return it. It's not good." It's like, really? That's amazing. It's like, nah, the color doesn't match the floor or whatever. So
you have to video her in every time you shop.
Yeah, it's a personal pain now. So she's shopping with me every time.
Brilliant. Jonathan, do you have anything to add before we thank our judges and we'll get to the announcements of the winner?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
All right, so thank you so much, guys. I'll let you return to your seat. Thank you. Really good sports there. It was hot in that elevator with the afternoon sun shining in through the glass. So now I'd like to invite Johnny Weiss and Tanya Oziel from Innovation Circle to the stage. They're going to present the Australian winner of the second elevator pitch.
Thank you very much, Kelsey. Thanks very much. The Innovation Circle is really, really proud to be a seed partner of the bridge, the second amazing bridge organised here in Sydney. Tanya and I have worked together for about 30 years in the Australia-Israel space, and we've never known a trade commissioner as Etty Levy. What Etty has done in her time in Australia has been incredible, unprecedented, and what we see here today and what we saw this time last year was an absolute amazing dream come true for those who've been involved in business between both countries for many, many years. And Tanya and I pay particular tribute to Etty and her incredible team, and on all of our behalves, Etty, amazing job. And Etty supported some great partners. We were to have been joined by Dave Sharma, the Australian ambassador to Israel, Dave has been an amazing representative for Australia and Israel, opening up all the people and people links, facilitating business mission, cultural mission, and the people to people links of festivities. And Dave would have been here today, but we pay tribute to him. He's in Canberra doing holy work down there on our behalf. And also, Tanya and I want to pay a special tribute to Leon Kempler, the National President of the Australia-Israel Chamber of Commerce, for whom for over 30 years has been a dream to push Australia-Israel trade closer. Leon, it's wonderful to have you here, and we pay tribute to you today. Now, the Innovation Circle is proud to be the partner of choice for the Israeli government in New Zealand, Singapore, and through Australia and Israel. We believe in regional partnerships. We see the incredible opportunities growing in this part of the world, not just on a bilateral basis, but beyond. And linking people across our geographies is an incredible part of what we're doing. We thank Eti very much for having the vision to open up the New Zealand-Israel relationship. There are a few sniggers here before about New Zealand innovation. I can tell you the Kiwis are fast. We took 60 companies to Israel in May. They're on the move with Israel. They get connection with Israel, the same size economy, the buzz for innovation, and the Kiwis are catching Australia. Eti had the vision to help open that market. We're going to see much more happening. And we're in fact taking this bridge program to Auckland later this week, a mini version with Dov Moran. Dov is coming with us and Sigalit. So this is the first of many. And we thank Eti again for her vision in opening the New Zealand market as well. So the appetite for Israel in our region, and we say regionally in our region, is incredible. We know between Singapore and Israel amazing things, between the whole focus of Singapore as a gateway into Indonesia, Malaysia and other countries and throughout the region. We're very, very closely involved through our Singapore Business Circle and our Trans-Tasman Business Circle and bringing the links between all these countries. In the last year, we've taken over 100 leaders from that region to Israel on missions, and we're taking more as the year comes up. And we're also particularly delighted to have taken the ASX to Israel through Max Cunningham, and as we heard, increasing Israeli presence on the ASX here, and we hope more to come. To the Israeli companies in the room, come with us on the journey. We're represented regionally, we're here to help you, and we'd love to grow markets together. So given our commitment to both Israeli and Australian innovation and supporting the sectors in both, we're proud to present the prize to the winning Australian startup. The prize is actually a return ticket and 5 days accommodation to take part in our delegation next year to the DLD Innovation Summit in Tel Aviv. That's in September. It's the most incredible conference. We just took a regional delegation there last September, and it's really absolutely amazing. Whoever gets it will have the most incredible learning experience and the most incredible opportunity to learn, grow, and pitch with some really incredible companies.
And the winner is AgriWeb.
Well done. Heading to Israel. Yeah, smile for a photo. Beautiful job. Amazing. Very tight pitch. Lots of hard facts in there in that very short elevator ride. So now I'd like to invite up the Israeli ambassador to Australia, Shmuel Ben Shmuel, and Leon Kempler from the AICC to announce the Israeli winner. Thanks, guys. Would you like to say just a couple of words and then we'll announce it?
First to announce it. Okay, yeah. There's one thing I have to show you all. I forgot to present my own innovation. That's a startup. It's called Pen. You put it on that thing called paper. You can draw pictures and you can write letters. I'm from an era in Tel Aviv when we had to wait 3 years to get a telephone. And so I'm moving ahead slowly out of the Stone Age. I was amazed to hear and to see all this innovation. I understood the words in English and Hebrew. I didn't understand the connection, but nevertheless, it's really amazing to see this type of innovation from both sides, and I hope that our wonderful relations between Israel and Australia will be deepened by and through innovation, through exchange of technology. There is a huge potential, no question about that. That's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, so the winner is of the Israeli side.
And also the Australia Chamber of Commerce wants to reinforce Johnny's words about Etty and Richard and to say congratulations, this is an amazing, amazing event and we thank you.
Etty, yes.
And the and the winner is Simagen Ori. Simagen.
Woo! Ori, Simagen, come on up. Do you want to jump in? Straight across, across. That way. Thank you so much, guys, for all taking part in the vote. These are your winners. So the Israel Trade Commission is going to support Ori with some business meetings and help push that product along in Australia. Now I'd like to invite Nathan back to let us know housekeeping and where to head for some drinks, I do believe. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kelsey. Well, it's quite simple. You go out the door and there are drinks. That's all I have to say, except tomorrow morning, 8:40 a.m. registration and some breakfast, and we will start promptly at 9:20. And tomorrow's program will be as jam-packed as today, but it is election day, so there's a few extra surprises as well. Thank you for your attendance. Have a great afternoon.